All right, in this update, I'm going to talk about the JPM put plan here. JPM had earnings, and earnings are not in the picture anymore. But they barely have. They barely were able to raise it, and it's now perfectly set up at what I call a key pivot point. The key is confirmation, though, people. And I'm going to show you some great options that I like, and we're going to discuss it. The stock is near an oversold, but it's not really oversold, and it could go into deep oversold if necessary. But there could be enough of a pop to the downside, and there are targets, like there are gaps to be filled over here, down in that 78 area. There's a good chance they want to try. I mean, it could come and try to test this 80 period. It may not be a quick, smooth move. Uh, Statistically shows when this stock wants to really move, 3-4 point moves are big moves for JPM. Okay, so let's talk about this plan. JPM is set up to test 80 to 76. The May 19. Oh, I wrote this wrong. 85. The May 1985 or 82 and a half puts could be used. I will be explaining the facts, some key facts not in these boxes. Well, I didn't realize this, but I wrote these wrong. Okay, so forget about these. We're going to go look at the options, but I did write this wrong. JPM needs to break below 84.25 on some good action volume. And good action volume is 2 million on a 10-minute chart. Now, this stock, if we don't get the volume as it's breaking below 84.25, we'll look for basing below 84.25 and look for a power push through 84 to 83.75. Like I said, the stock, when it wants to drop, can drop about $3 in a day. Three and a half, 3, 4, and those are good days at most. Okay, so now if this opens, for example, down, in the first 10 minutes, what we're going to watch is the pivot point. Okay, so the opening price is the pivot point. So for example, if they open it at 84, that's where we want the stock to trade below a confirmation. So obviously you would need something below 84. It would be 83.75, because it could open at 84 and try to travel upwards. Okay, and we don't want that. So let's go to, so we want it to be, remember, we have to trade, this needs to trade below the pivot point. Okay, that's the key, below the pivot. You don't want it going against the pivot. If it goes against the pivot, you got to wait for it to go below the pivot before we initiate the trade. Okay, let's take a look at the options. All right, so here we're at the Yahoo Finance. JP Morgan closed down 70 cents at 84.46 today. Let's take a look at the options. All right, so here I got the May 19 options up. We're going to look at the puts. Now, of course, I made a mistake, but in the video, we're going to look at, for example, the 85 puts. And look at this. Look at the open interest. So here's the 85 puts. I'm going to circle that. Look at that, 15,000. 5,000 were traded today. What's nice about JPM is the spreads are very tight, and these options can make it, they're easier to trade, something like this, than let's say Goldman Sachs, and there's a lot of money to be made. Again, these are very good as well, 82.5. Oh, these are very inexpensive, okay, and they could trigger at about $1.30, $1.35, and they traded very well, so they both trade very well, neither the 85s or the 82.5 puts. Very inexpensive, and they got and they got good time on here, and they can make a lot of money. This goes to 80, just 80 alone, and you're doubling your money, right? You're doubling your money, more than doubling your money alone on this. And of course, if it goes lower, and it could be traded. These could be traded, as you can see. What I like about this is there's a lot of trading happening here. All right, people, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, Power Target Trades, I suggest subscribe. Also, check out the NVIDIA video that I made. This is a short I've been looking and stalking. This is pretty good too, and I have a nice tip for the options over there as well. So JPM is another idea, just like the GS is an idea. I mean, GS did very well, paid it very well. It's also very bullish. It's a much faster paced stock, the GS. But some people may like the JPM. JPM is very bearish as well. They had good earnings and they can't pop the stock, right? And you could just want to sell off, who knows why. This is the market, right? The market isn't happy with JPM according to the charts. This is all I can say, right? So you see the Sandro Power Trigger trade? It's going to appear here in a circle format. Simply click on it, and it's going to give you an easy way to subscribe. It's a great place to subscribe to. A lot of great videos. See, look at this. Confirmation is key. Study the videos. Visit daily. All this great information. Thanks for listening. Like the video.